Hello and welcome to my channel. This video is going to be another in my Halloween 2017 series of cards, but I'm also going to be showing you how you can come up with a design using paper scraps. So that's why my video starts out a little different and why this piece of paper is here. If you've watched my channel this week, I put up a video showing how I did this card here. I will have a link down below on my channel on this video, and you can also search my channel for Halloween 2017 Trio of Monsters card. Every time I created this card, I ended up with some paper scraps, and I thought about it. You know my view on waste. I didn't want to waste it, so I thought about how I could come up with a card design to utilize those scraps. Over time, crafting can end up being a rather costly hobby if you're not very frugal with your materials and you're not considerate about waste. And if you've been following my videos, you know I really don't like wasting materials. So every time I did this card, I ended up with this paper cutouts. I got this rectangle from here, these three squares from here, and then this frame that went over the whole design, as you can see. So I thought about it and I figured there must be a way to come up with a card with these materials here. And this is the result. As you see, I have used the three squares and the rectangle, and I also brought in a little sugar skull embellishment with a jaunty hat. And I've also used some more of the pattern paper that I used from the first card. This went together quickly, and it's utilizing scraps which I already have from the earlier card, and this is a way that you can get two card designs out of one. And I highly encourage you to think outside the box and try to come up with ways to utilize your materials, because crafting can be a rather expensive hobby over time, and so any way you can cut corners is a good thing. Okay, let me clear this away and show you how I made the card. Alright, in addition to these materials, I needed more paper. So I have a card base, which is cut 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I also needed some extra papers for the matting. So I have a piece of white, which is cut 3 3/4 by 1 inch. And I went and got some Halloween themed paper which has the colors which are in the eyes of the skeletons that I used, and I have 1 inch squares which I'm going to be doing like that. And this is going to be my matte frame here. Excuse me. So I needed a piece of paper to cover that punched out area so it doesn't show. So you can totally see how I'm using just this little bit of paper to give the illusion that it's a full mat. And this is just an easy trick that you can do to save some paper. And I also need a piece of paper 5.5 by 4 for the inside of the card. I'm going to be doing a little bit of coloring, so I needed 2 distress markers, aged Mahogany and Forest Moss. I'll need Versafine Onyx Black, my go-to black ink. I have some Jolie's Boutique Sugar Skulls, and I'm going to use this little guy right here. Actually, no, I'm going to use that one to match with that one. And I have these stickers here, which I got from Walmart, I think. Maybe it was 97 cents. And you can see there's a lot of them. And I have some dollar stamps, which I have been getting over time. I have a bunch of them with Halloween sentiments on it. I also will be doing a little bit of watercoloring, not much, but a little bit. So I have orange and green and a couple of shades of black. These were just here from the last card. I'm not going to use all those colors, but most of them. Alright, I think that's all this card design needs, so let me clear this away and I will just show you how I made the card. This is very quick, very simple, minimal talking. Okay, to start off, I'm going to glue these pieces together. And I'm using my Tombow Mono Multi glue, but you could use any adhesive you had for this. You just want to make sure that you line it up in the corner. Now this little piece is bigger than a 1-inch piece, so I know I'm going to need to trim it. So I want to make sure that I get it straight and an even amount of selvage on 3 sides. And this just takes a second. I'm using the liquid glue so that I have a few seconds extra to move it around to get it where I want it to be, because if I used the tape, once I touched it down, that's pretty much it. It would stick. And since it's so little, I couldn't possibly move it without distorting it. So I don't want to do that. So this is a little trick that you learn when you working with odd sizes, to just make do and find a way to make it work with minimal trimming. So now that I have that, finish with this, I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer and trim off that extra edge. I could also do this with a pair of scissors, but my hands are a little bit shaky and I'm not confident about how that would work out. So there we go, that's one. I'm just eyeballing this. That's 2 and this is 3. Okay, move that out the way. Now I want the skull stickers to go on there. I was toying with the idea of popping them up on foam tape and adding a little bit of dimension, but they're already the squares, I'm already popping them up on foam tape, and this giant skull is adding a lot of dimension, so I thought that that would be a little bit overkill, so I'm going to let them lay flat. So I just use my tweezers and pick this up and center it and press it. Now since the background has a lot of orange in it, I don't want to use the orange skull, the orange eye skull, because that would be too much orange, I think. So I'm picking up ones using the different colors. There we go. Okay. Now, believe it or not, the rest is really simple, so I'm just going to put the card together and let the music that my brother provided play to entertain you. See you again at the end of the video. Alright, that is the finished card. I did some very easy watercoloring on the inside of the card, and you just take the lightest color and go all over. The medium color go on the both sides, and then you do one side with the darkest color. Then you take the water pen and blend the colors together. I didn't bother with the bones because that area is so small, shading wouldn't show up anyway, but I did color it with the medium gray. That gives it the most chance of being able to be seen by the eye. Also, I went over the letters with my Spectrum Noir sparkle pen. And because I wasn't sure of the adhesion of that foam tape, which sometimes happen with stickers that you've had for a while that have the little extra foam tape, sometimes it loses its gluing capability. So I just gave it a little bit of extra Tombow to make sure that it would stick good and stay in there. But because this is such a thick skull here, it's got quite a bit of foam in it, and it has a lot of dimension. This is probably going to need a little bit extra postage to send it through the post. So that's something to keep in mind. So I'd like to thank you for watching my videos. I hope you're enjoying my 2017 series for Halloween, and I hope that you utilize some of the techniques that I use in paper saving to help you in your endeavors in the craft world. I will have a link down below, but I have one video on my channel which shows how I came about with making a whole series, a whole slew of cards with card scraps, and it's been my most popular video, and yay, I'm very glad for that. So I'm going to leave a link down below. I'd like to thank everyone for their support, and I'd like to thank my brother David for the music that he has provided for my Halloween series of cards. Some of it is really on point and fantastic, and I really hope you check out his channel and see more of what he's doing. He's an excellent jazz musician, and if you're in the Washington, D.C. metro area, go check out one of his gigs. You will not be disappointed. Thanks for watching, and happy Halloween, everyone. Take care.